welcome back to the It's Just Us podcast. Now, I feel like we do owe another apology because the apology last episode about being inconsistent, maybe we weren't actually keeping our word then, but I promise you we'll keep our word now because we are back and we're here for another episode. We're back, and it's going to be even better today because we've got an incredible guest with us. Just to introduce Aneila Active, a huge inspiration.
Sorry, I have to clap.
Yeah, we have to clap. We have to clap for this woman. A huge inspiration.
Made me blush.
For us girls, for so many Muslims, for so many non-Muslims in this country, around the world. She has done incredible things, from taekwondo to weightlifting to be an absolute national treasure on TV, to be the first hijabi gladiator.
Bro.
One more round of applause. Like, I'm sorry, that is incredible.
She basically carried us in, guys.
Exactly.
She carried us in with one hand.
I'm trying to leave the door open for the next one.
Inshallah, for sure.
Of course, man.
That is obviously everyone's mission. You want to open doors for people. So yeah, she did obviously Gladiators, and she's done an incredible job. From, you know, strength training, just trying to build strength, visibility, leadership. This is exactly what it looks like. She is the role model for a lot of girls. So ladies and gentlemen, Anila.
Also, let's not forget this girl ran a whole half marathon with a pram.
Yeah.
Like,
We'll
guys, when I
We'll
chat about the marathon,
Yeah.
there was nothing compared.
Do you think you could ever run a marathon with a pram?
Do you want to
Maybe
borrow
one.
Aya?
You know what? When I'm getting tired, yeah, we could do a relay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, can you imagine the content?
Me with my nephew, you with your nephew, you with your daughter. That'd be perfect.
Honestly, if there
Guys,
was
I
a
was talking to one
Olympics.
pram. What do you mean? I can't do 3 kids.
You
I
could
do
no,
one.
you one pram, me
Oh,
one pram,
yeah, yeah.
Anila one pram.
Oh, yeah,
We'll
that's
do
true.
it.
Have a
Yeah.
race.
Yeah, that'd be
It'll be like Mario Kart, but like, you know, you stop, the cart's not carting. It'll be that.
No, inshallah, one day the world's our oyster, guys. I mean, you know, you can do anything in life.
Yeah.
But anyways, Neela, welcome to the pod. Thank you so much for being here. You've actually got a lot of podcast experience because you've done, you know, when you around the Gladiators area, you were doing lots of interviews, like
promo.
BBC. So I'm hoping today will be as smooth as it should be.
It's just
but-
us. So.
Yeah, I mean, it is really just
man,
us.
I saw what you did there.
Yeah, thank you for
I
that.
tried to. Sorry. I'm gonna stop flirting with you now.
We're going to go up to... We're going to start, obviously, right from the beginning because we don't want to just jump. We want to actually go in order. So people that may not know who you are, and if you don't know who she is, then you're obviously living under a rock.
Get to know.
You really are. Just go right from the beginning, from basically your upbringing and what motivated you to actually start moving your body. So when you were obviously a young girl, were you into fitness or were you into moving your body, or were you like us two who was like lazy, that didn't want to do anything during PE? What was it like?
Yeah, literally.
It's actually the complete opposite for me. So I grew up, you know, the cliche, I think we've spoken about it before, being mixed race. So my mum's white, my dad's Pakistani. And as a result of that, I went through the whole, not just identity crisis, but the bullying thing when you're younger, you know.
Well, have you lived in Manchester as well?
No, that's not where I'm from originally.
So where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from a really small town. Do you know what? I always get slated online. Like, why doesn't she mention us? Like, here we are,
Why?
guys.
It's a
I'm from a
town.
small town. It's unlikely you've heard of it. It's called Nelson. It's it's like a village. Have you heard of Burnley football team?
I've heard of
Yeah.
Burnley, yeah.
It's next to there.
Okay.
To put into perspective, I think it's like 3 miles round, like from one side to the other. It's very small.
You could definitely run that.
Yeah.
It's more. I definitely could run that.
Why did no
That's
one
light
get my
work for
running joke?
I used to run that actually. And in that community, it's more multicultural now, but back then it was kind of like white and Asian.
Yeah.
And I didn't fit into either side.
Yeah.
To put into perspective, I also don't speak the mother tongue either because I was brought up in a household where English was spoken.
Yeah.
So I really struggled. I had no confidence, didn't have any real friends. The bullying was happening at school, happening at mosque as well, which, you know, it's another story. But
Yeah.
as a result of that, I think my dad really wanted me to learn self-defense. I think my mum just wanted to give me something, whether that was a community and confidence. And it just so happened that taekwondo was a thing that was being done at the local community centre.
Yeah.
So they took me down at 6 years old and I fell in love with the sport.
Oh,
And
that's amazing.
I genuinely mean that. Like, I fell in love with it. It was so exciting. It was so different to things like football and running. And
It's very different.
yeah.
Very, very different.
And that was it, really. I had my first competition at 7 and won.
Yeah,
always been a
period.
competitive girl. But I think once I'd had the taste of that competitive side as well, and when I say compete as well, like it's fighting as well. So the style of taekwondo that I do, it is the Olympic sport. It's full contact. It's sparring. That's what I competed in. And once I got a taste for that, I've always been ambitious. I was like, I want to be on the British team. This is me at 7 years old.
I love how you manifested that when you were
at 7. You know, what was happening? I'm manifesting at 7. Like a Nutella sandwich.
Literally, that's incredible. I think also for your dad to say, let's get her into a self-defense kind of sport instead of the standard football, because I think a lot of kids just instantly they'll do like football, netball. Like I was always a netball girl, so for you to do something like that is really different. So you decided to
it.
That's what I was gonna say. You committed to it in the end, and you actually longed it out. So what actually kept you staying in that sport? Because I know a lot of people do it for a couple of years because they know they need to, because their parents want them to. You fell in love with it, but what was your other motivation to stay in there as well? Was it opportunities, potential communities? What do you think was?
I think there's a couple of layers to it. I think once I'd won that first competition, I've always been someone who, even clearly from a young age, I've been very goal driven. So there was always a next thing. So I think whilst I was younger, I really wanted to get my black belt. So I was working towards that, and then I was working towards I want to be British champion. And I think I achieved my black belt at 12, and do you know what? They might have been in the same year. I won my first British championships around that age too.
Wow.
So I think it was very goal driven, but my parents also were super supportive and super proud. But I was just happy to be there. There wasn't a time where I didn't want to go. You know, I remember everyone was playing out in the summer, and I'd leave to go training. Like, do you have to go? Like, keep playing out with us? I was like, no, guys. Like, I want to go. I want to go training. And hats off to my parents as well, because it's genuinely the best thing that they have ever done for me. When I say the confidence, the way that I excelled even as a child and came into myself, I made them friends, I became sure of myself. And even having that drive and having them goals from a young age, that translates to so many other areas in school.
Empowering parents actually are, like, they make the world of a difference.
And obviously, as you're saying, it is a sport that's different. There were them attitudes from even other family members that were like, quite literally, like, why is your daughter doing this? Like, girls don't do this. Like, you're not soft.
This is too aggressive for her.
Like, you know, Pakistani family, like, why are you allowing your daughter to do this? Because then it got to a point as well where I was then traveling abroad for competitions. Again, massive taboo. But my parents championed me. And even as I got older and I was getting to the phase where I needed to find a better club in order to get to the British team, they would drive me, guys, 2 hours to training and 2 hours back. That so much. Like three times a week. And my parents did end up divorced a little bit later on, but the one thing that stayed super consistent is that they both continue to support me in my sporting journey,
which, alhamdulillah, is really good, because I think a lot of people potentially may not be able to relate to that, you know, once there is a divorce in the house. You know, maybe one parent lacks support, or, you know, lacks that kind of being there. So that's amazing that you had that, and I'm really happy that you had that. Going back to obviously taekwondo itself, like, you mentioned your experience of being bullied at school, and obviously, you know, no one likes it. I mean, I was bullied when I was in school as well, and it really sucked. But what I loved about your journey, what I really love what you're saying now, is that taekwondo was kind of like your outlet. So like, would you say that was your coping mechanism when you were younger? Because obviously when you're a baby or a child, no one really knows what their coping mechanism should be. But did you kind of naturally feel more confident through that? Because you said you lacked confidence in school. Was that your good coping mechanism? And if that was there anything else that you also coped with or used to cope with the bullying?
I think it was always sport for me. Even now, when I step into the gym, and I've had videographers with me who they've done like content with me outside the gym, or they know me outside the gym, and they're like, when you step into like your gym or like your running club, it's like you're the best version of yourself. Like, you light up, like, we can see that. You're so much better on camera to talk to be around. It's like I'm an alter ego, but it was like that from a young age. When I stepped into the gym,
kind of thing.
Like, all the best parts of myself just kind of came to light. And although at a young age, as you said, you don't really think of these things as coping mechanisms, it definitely was.
100%. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you were surrounded by a bunch of, you know, children that weren't technically on your level or didn't really understand, or because I'm not justifying bullying, but children are children, so what do they know? But at the end of the day, you were constantly surrounded by that, so that was almost like your outlet, because you were away from them, you were with your parents that you loved the most, and you were doing what you loved the most. And I think that's incredible. And, you know, tell me about the divorce period with your parents. Like, how did that feel, and did that affect your taekwondo journey? Like, how was that?
Or did it motivate you more?
Yeah.
Like,
It was, I can't lie. So my parents' divorce was very sticky.
how old were you, by the way?
How old am I now?
No, I
Was
think
at the time?
At the time.
I want to say I think I was in year 9. Is it like 14 or something? It was
That's
around.
really young.
Yeah, it's a horrible
Like
in-between
like
age.
GCSEs.
Yeah,
yeah.
just pre. I want to say
Just pre-GCSEs.
I want to say year 9. And it wasn't nice. It was a very, very sticky divorce, and I think there was a lot of tension, and there was periods of living with this parent and living with that parent, and just lots of problems. And definitely sports, running as well, because I've always run. Even before I became a runner girl, it was part of my routine to be an athlete.
She was a runner since day one, guys. Crazy.
But again, even then, I think 14 is so young, and I never saw sports as a coping mechanism. But when I look at everything I've experienced from a young age, even to traumas I've dealt with my childhood, it's the thing that's always stayed consistent and kept me grounded. But yeah, I really respect my parents in the fact that they both continued to support my sporting journey, even when things were really difficult between them.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I was definitely able to excel.
Yeah, that's amazing that, like, and I'm going to repeat it again, they were still there for you to support you with your sporting journeys.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was like, Mum, I want to play netball, she looked at me, she was like, sure. Like, are you sure you want to play netball? Like, I think it's a Pakistani thing, and it's probably a Bengali thing as well, a South Asian thing in general, where the generation above us, they don't technically understand about
It
movement.
depends though, I'll be honest with you, because I low-key I used to do a bit of karate, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
But I didn't actually, I got to brown belt and then I actually just stopped, and I think it's because low-key, like, I didn't really enjoy it though, to be fair. Like, but my parents, like, especially my dad, he was always like, I want you guys to do absolutely everything. Like, I want you to fly. And I think having parents that want to see their kids like do everything, that's a level of freedom that maybe a lot of ethnic parents, they just never had themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly,
but the ones that do have them, they're like gold dust. So like
Yeah.
as children, if you've got that opportunity, like me and my brother and my sister, we only appreciate now getting older how liberating it was to have a dad like that.
Yeah.
Because when you're younger, you're just like, oh, again, like what routine? But now I'm like, thank God my parents put me in a routine. Thank God I had a solid 93 school club. Then I had to go mosque from 5 to 7. Then I had to go karate on a Tuesday, 7 to 9. Like this
Thank
was,
God.
we were tired, but we had actual routine. And now I'm like, mate, if my kids are not up at 5 a.m. in the morning,
Girl, wait till
wild.
you've got them.
bro,
5
I was
a.m.
into your camp. For summer.
Listen, I had my first child at 19.
Wow, yeah.
I've had my kids that young that by the time my girlies are having their kids, my eldest is going to be able to babysit. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Send them over.
I'm telling you. I can
Yeah.
see the Anila nursery.
I'll be
We'll
there.
get a better name.
I'll be there. We'll both be there, inshallah, when we have our own kids. But you know what? I completely agree with that. And I think I see it with my sister as well. She's early 30s, raising 2 boys, 2 autistic boys. And Allahumma barik, like they're going judo every Saturday morning and they absolutely love it. So I think it's that massive shift
Yeah,
that we're
self-defense is
having.
so important.
But you know what? Alhamdulillah, like your father was incredible with kind of pushing you to do that, and so was your parents. So that's a real
I'm a
blessing.
massive
You know?
advocate for it, and let me take this
Yeah.
opportunity to say, like, and you know, we are living in times that are hard, but if you have the means to put your child into a sport, it will be the best thing that you ever do for them.
Yeah, for
I
real.
do it with my kids. Mira's in taekwondo, gymnastics, and football now. God, I'm a full-time taxi driver.
No, but I love that for her.
Yeah, my parents did it for me. I have to do it for her, and
Exactly.
I genuinely, I wouldn't be sitting here today if I don't think that
No,
if I didn't have the
yeah.
background. Do you know how you're saying like you've kind of come into it a little bit later?
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be where I am now if
No.
that was me.
Yeah.
And I am so privileged And it's just so sad that that's not the norm within our community.
Yeah.
But that's why it's our responsibility to create spaces.
To change that as well, to make that shift and for, you know, to educate obviously our future children. Obviously you're doing that at the moment. That movement is so important because at the end of the day, Allah has created our bodies for us, so we have to take care of them.
Of course.
You know? So that's amazing. And obviously you kind of grew up, you went through your parents' divorce, which I understand must have been really difficult. And then I believe you got married early and then you had kids.
I did. So there's a bit of a period. So to backtrack a little bit, I did end up joining the British team at 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which absolute dream. So do you know what? There was always...
Did you do normal school then? Like, did you still go to school?
Yeah. So
primary, secondary, you did all that, right?
Oh, just so funny. I went to normal school, but it just meant that like it was training kind of like every day after school. During the school holidays, we would go away to camps in Manchester, and we'd kind of stay there, do the training.
And this is whilst you were staying in the other...
In Nelson, yeah.
Nelson.
So in my hometown. Okay, cool. I remember whilst my peers were sitting their GCSEs, I was in like Korea for a training camp.
Korea?
And then I flew to China.
She's an international babe from day one.
I remember they were sitting their exams and stuff. So there was like some sort of weird situation where I had to sit one of my exams later with like, I don't know, one-on-one. But I did most of the normal stuff. You do. And then I went to college and...
What did you study? Like in college?
In
what
college,
were your other subjects that you picked?
Oh my God, why does it feel so long ago? I did law, sports science, history, and biology.
So what made you pick law, for example? Did you ever think, oh, I actually might want to be a lawyer?
I always thought that would be... I was always quite interested in law.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is the Asian part of me coming out secure, career.
Lawyer, engineer, doctor, one of them.
Yeah. Teacher, it's one.
But I can't lie, I did really well with the study of it, but I did some work experience. It completely put me off.
What, the law?
I was so bored. Honestly, I was falling asleep. I was like...
Law's not for everyone, I guess. You know, some people don't enjoy it. Or
but that's interesting, though. So you kind of... sorry, actually. I was just like, in terms... So you were still basically pursuing your sports career, but there was always another part of you that still didn't mind an alternative career.
I always
so
recognise the importance.
Were you always thinking like you were going to retire soon? Or like...
Well, athletes do retire young.
That's true.
And I think I've always been quite academically inclined. So I was always still getting really good grades at school. I knew that I wanted to do A-level. So I don't know if it's my parents or if it's just me. Yeah. I think because I knew I could do well, it's like I want to get these results. I want to have them as a backup.
That's really good. Like you were going through so much and you were like, I'm still going to make sure that my education's patterned. I'm still going to make sure I smash my exams. Because at the end of the day, like we go through so much stress itself, revising for these exams. Breakdown after... I remember I was such an emotional child. Breakdown after breakdown. Bro, I remember picking my GCSE subjects kind of can't do this.
Did you do A-levels?
Yeah, I did A-levels.
Did you cry? Because I would actually cry studying for
I
A-levels.
cried.
So I think I'm harder than my degree.
Yeah, 100%. What did you do your degree in then?
Social sciences.
Amazing.
What uni?
I started at the University of Manchester.
Yeah.
We need to backtrack again. I ended up pregnant during studying.
Okay, cool.
I sat my exams in first year super pregnant. You should have seen the looks I got. And then I took a year out whilst I had my first daughter, while she was a baby. And then I went back to uni, but I decided to go back to Manchester Met because I just wasn't happy with the uni of.
Yeah, fair enough experience.
I finished studying there.
That's amazing.
Wow. So you had a
I've lived so many lives, guys, honestly. But so I got married at 18, which...
I love about it.
I mean...
It's some people's dreams and some people's, like, ideals. And I think even though, like, your journey didn't go the way that you wanted it to go, still getting married at 18 is an accomplishment in itself. I think that's really cool. So
I'm going to be so real with you.
She's like, don't get married.
I'm going to be so real. And I get this all the time. I, obviously, as a Muslim, and, I understand why we're encouraged to get married young and things it avoids and things like that. But also, and everyone's not the same, but for the majority of us, I just don't think you know what's important to you at 18 years old.
Sure.
And for me...
The mental maturity, you think?
Absolutely. If I was to pick a partner now, I already know, I know what my core values are. I know what I want in the future.
You've established them,
Absolutely. I know what I'm working towards, but when you're 18 years old... I didn't even know who I was. And if I did, I'm definitely not the same person now. So how can you possibly pick the person to spend the rest of your life with?
You do take a gamble.
I think we see all this, like young Muslim couples now online. And although I watch it too, but it's just so easy to romanticize marriage in a way that
100%.
It's a beautiful thing, but there's a reason why it's half of your deen. It's difficult, right?
There's a responsibility.
You establish your full deen.
There's so much responsibility. And even the best marriages work. And you have to choose your partner so correctly.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really hard, especially in this day and age, to find someone. I mean, not cussing out like genders in specific.
The streets are hard,
the
man.
streets are hard.
Just say how it is. If you're single, you're going to be struggling.
Listen,
exactly.
I hear it.
It's a thing. It's an epidemic.
Yeah.
Everything is epidemic.
At the end of the day, I think when it comes to responsibilities, I think people forget what responsibilities they need to have. So, and I think this is very common and this is in all cultures, by the way, not just in South Asian cultures, but I'm going to speak from a South Asian perspective because I'm Pakistani myself. You know, there are some Pakistani boys and girls that misunderstand the responsibility within a marriage and assume that, you know, a girl needs to stay in the kitchen, a girl needs to cook, a girl needs to do this, and a guy doesn't have to do anything, when that's not the case, because even our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, also used to assist and help in the kitchen. So I think it's just the cultural misunderstanding and Islamic misunderstanding, and what they do is they bring the culture and the religion, they blend it in one, they mix the pot a little bit, and they make up their own narrative. So it's really hard, like it is really, really hard. But at the end of the day, you know, you got to tie your camel and you got to try and find someone, because like you said, it does complete half your deen. But also some people struggle to find their partner here, and then inshallah they find it in the hereafter. You never know what is written for you. That episode during Ramadan, Umar Sulaiman, when he said some people might not find their partner in the dunya, it hit me a little bit. So it was kind of like a reality check in anything, because I romanticize everything.
I think it's a Muslim girl thing, you know. I think
legit, you know,
it's a Muslim girl thing.
Not normal people. Or Muslim. What I'm saying, like, you know, if I say to someone, "Oh, I'm 26 years old," they're like, "Oh my god!" If you ask your auntie, you'll be like, "You're 26 years old." No marriage, like no kids, no. But if I ask Bill from HR, he'll be like, "Yeah, you're so young. Like you're literally just starting your life, honey. Like,
yeah.
You've got years and years on you." And I'm just like, "Oh, it's because it's more of a norm for us to get married young."
Married
young,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
So what was your reasoning for getting married at 18? Was it because you found someone, or was it an arranged marriage from your parents?
It's the worst reason ever. It's feelings, and I have feelings and
feelings. It's okay.
No, but you can't build a marriage on feelings. That's what I'm trying to put out there. Without the other things, feelings are not.
Is that
a
the
basis
least
for
the foundation?
The foundations are important. It's the stuff I was saying before. So it's making sure you're aligned, making sure. I mean, I'm as much at fault. You asked me what my core values were at 18. I'd say, what's a core value?
Do you know what I mean? Can I spell value? Of course I could, but,
it was love. Can't even lie. I hate being soppy. Ew.
But you know what? I think it was easier to love when you're younger.
Now I see through everything. One red flag, and babes, I'm so sorry.
I'm gone. Salam
You're gonna run the way that you ran.
So obviously you felt, which is fine, which is normal. I think we all feel. I get it. Like I'm a lover girl, so like I will feel strongly as well. But okay, so it was based off emotion.
Absolutely.
And there is, even though like, you know, you'd recommend to obviously build on the foundations first and look at the other things, at the end of the day, feeling an emotion about marriage is also fine too. And I think you're at a phase where, you know, if anything, I respect that you didn't just long it out and instead you made it halal straight away. So if anything, I respect you for that. I know you were young. I know, you know, you wouldn't recommend someone so young to get married because you feel like maybe they need to learn more about marriage. But, you know, like, Allahumma barik, you stopped at that haram relationship develop and you turned it halal, which I really respect. So can I ask, like, you got married, you had a relationship, when you fell pregnant quite quickly because you were at uni. Did that kind of change the dynamic between you two, or was it kind of still normal until you had your baby?
I think it's a difficult question.
It must have been testing anyway, right? Because I feel like children are a blessing, obviously, but it must come as a test as a couple, right?
I think when I look back at my relationship, there were lots of things that were very clear from early on, which weren't healthy in terms of like it being something that was going to, let's just say, go on for a long time. And I think there were certain signs that were already there before I was pregnant. But I think I was just so young that I was so naive to a lot of things. So even during the pregnancy, it was, I'll be so honest, it wasn't a nice experience. I think I was
easy pregnancy.
I don't even think again
19 is different as well. Like,
I remember, even though I was married, there was almost like this shame that I felt because I looked so young as well. Almost like I felt like people would look at me odd because I probably looked younger than 19. Well, I was 18 and pregnant, actually. I was 18 and pregnant. I had my daughter at 19. But I probably looked even younger. Like, I remember just being looked at a bit weird in midwife appointments. I remember walking around uni and looking for tops that would cover my belly because, you know, it's not like it's a South Asian community at university. Everyone was from the South. Everyone was looking at me like, oh, I was a pregnant teenager. So there were so many layers to it. Even outside of the relationship, I was struggling with the fact that I was so young and pregnant. And I was looking at my future because I love my daughter and she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. But I never planned to have her so young. And we've talked about my upbringing. I was highly ambitious. And at the time I was like, okay, how am I going to continue competing? I don't know any female athletes who have children. What career am I going to have? Because again, we said I was doing the education thing as well. How do I keep going to uni? What job is going to fit around a baby? What do people do with their babies during the day when they go to work? So it was really a period in my life where I was just, I was confused. I was stressed.
Would you say your mental health was on the lower side then around that time because of the pregnancy?
It felt like a little bit of an out-of-body experience. Even now, when I look back, it's quite sad. I don't have many pictures pregnant and I didn't realise it at the time, but you
probably just didn't want to document it.
I didn't document it. I have so many from my second pregnancy because I was in such a better headspace. But being so young, I remember I just avoided doing things and I
mean, the bump's a bump. Even though it's such a beautiful thing, it's difficult because, yes, you're right. You're surrounded by other teenagers and other students and they don't know what your situation is. They have no context. They don't know that you're a married woman, that you've actually got a husband. Absolutely. They probably think the worst. And I guess as an 18-year-old, you're going to think the worst. You're going to think, oh, these people are judging me. These people are, coming at me because of my bump. And, it's really hard to kind of
it was an inward thing as well, though, because even my sporting journey, I'd had to overcome to get onto the British team as well. I was the only Pakistani girl there on the British team, and I've had to overcome all these barriers. Like, although I'm saying I love the sport, like, don't get twisted, it was blood, sweat, and tears. To be like broken bones, like failure after failure. Even like the things like trying to pick up sponsorship, and it's almost like I'd climb this mountain to become a professional athlete. And then it was like, okay, well, I've first Asian girl to be there. I've sorted the financial thing out. I've done all the hard work. Okay, now I've got a baby. And I remember overhearing a conversation with one of my most respected coaches saying, well, she's done now.
Wow.
And
what went through your head when he said that?
I was like, I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's what I'm saying. So like when people go against your dreams and say you can't do that, that motivates you even more.
So angry.
I feel like any atom of doubt is always gonna be the thing that's gonna literally catapult you.
I feel like hearing that though, I literally remember I'm not gonna mention obviously coach's name or anything, but I literally remember the day and it was such a turning point because I was just like, I think I'd victimized myself before then, and even I was feeling sorry for myself. You have to be so careful with victimhood as well because it's such an easy place to live in. If I sat in victimhood now as a single mum of two and like,
you wouldn't be where you are.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying it's not hard because it is, but as soon as I had her, I was like, okay, right. 5 weeks after having her, I was back in the gym. I
love that for you.
Back in the gym, back sparring with a different coach.
Very motivational.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, better be a different coach, mate.
And then I had my first fight after having my daughter. I want to say like 10 weeks. I won.
Wow.
And then I went and I defended my British title within like, it was 3 to 6 months after having it. And when I stood on, it's so sad, I never used to be hijabi, so I can't share the picture online.
Yeah.
But I took her on top of the podium with me. There's literally a picture
So
of me
epic, man.
on the number 1 with Mira in my arms. And I just thought like, it's nothing I can't do. Like,
Yeah.
actually
There
nothing.
there's
that you
nothing.
can't.
No.
With a child, because a lot of people, when they have a child, which in some circumstances is understandable, they really physically can't really do what you did, because postpartum is difficult for some. But then also, you know, everybody's bodies are different. So my older sister, when she had her first, she was really difficult. Like she really, she found it difficult. She tried to kind of like get up and get things done, and even though she did, and she's an absolute warrior, she did struggle when it comes to kind of like moving her body a bit. Like the only movement she was doing was in the house.
It depends on so many things,
Sometimes
like
people have
pregnancy,
cesareans
delivery,
as well.
C-section.
C-section can actually really
How was your
affect movement.
pregnancy like when you gave
It was
birth?
healthy. Oh my God.
the finger.
It was healthy.
It was
the giving birth. My God.
Okay,
Do you reckon because you weren't athlete?
I want to get into this actually.
Yeah.
There is
Like-
a reason that if you die during childbirth, that you die as a martyr. Let me tell you. There's
Really?
But there's no word. I can't, girls. I don't want to put this out there because it scares people. But everyone's experience is different. But for me, I can't put into words how painful childbirth was, and and both times I thought it'd be better second time it wasn't.
Do you think that like out of everything you've ever done in your life,
There's nothing that even comes close?
because
My
you're
God.
literally a whole Olympian.
Do you know what I mean?
Like a marathon runner. You're a gladiator, and you're telling me
No,
childbirth was the
babes.
thing that was the hardest thing.
I remember
We're all
turning to
done.
my mom and
all
saying, like, I would rather die than continue feeling this pain. And wallahi, I meant it in the minute. I was like, I would rather actually die than continue feeling this pain. And I didn't want to.
Was this after your
carry
first
on.
or second?
That I said that during the first childbirth, and I don't think I specifically said that in the second one, but I felt it.
You felt the
But
emotion.
At the end of the day, the way that I look at it is, women are amazing. Women are doing this.
Women are incredible.
Women are doing
like,
this.
they're incredible.
You know, like Allah made it so that we could carry and deliver children, and as bad as it is, it's going to come to an end, and that's my perspective for everything. I think that's why I do a lot of really hard things. My God, I was not compared to childbirth. I was dying in that half marathon with a pram, but I was like, it's one day in my life. Keep going. It's going to be over. And obviously at the end of it, you get your baby.
Exactly. You get the thing that, you know, you've been carrying, the little baby that you've been carrying for 9 months, and it's like, so when you give birth and you hold the baby, so you were holding Mira at that time, some people are emotional, some people are just relieved. Like that pain that you felt, because a lot of people say that you forget the pain instantly after, like you completely forget
Bro,
it.
she just told you it's the most painful experience of her life.
No.
She's forgotten it.
No, but after, as in like you don't remember at the time.
The first and the second experience were very, very different for me. So as I said, with the first one, I wasn't in a good headspace, and I didn't realize it at the time. But although I was in all that pain giving birth to Mira at 19, it was a very out of body experience. I didn't have that moment where I held her and it's this instant endorphins. I was just very like, again, it was very numb. I remember the midwife turning to me, who just does my baby. She's like, oh my God, you're a baby with a baby. It's like, girl.
Don't say that to me when I just gave birth. The hell?
Yeah. And it's all... Yeah, it's quite traumatic. Even when I think back, I feel like there's gaps in my memory because it was that traumatic. But with Aya, my second daughter, and I was 25 or 24.
Aya is the cutest little marshmallow I've ever seen in my life.
She only looks cute. She's
you posted
so
a picture
naughty.
of her the other day.
No, you know when you
And
go
I
your
looked
close
at
friend,
her.
I'm like, Aya, man.
No, she's so cute.
I know you.
But she'd be hanging from the lights if she was in the studio.
Low-key, I was thinking that we should have brought Aya and Mira.
No,
But you know what?
No,
They do
genuinely.
definitely get the dynamic of the elder sister and the younger sister. Like, you know the
first
dynamic.
one's an angel. The
Yeah.
second one, Allah's testing me. He's teaching me sabr.
No, honestly, when I see your close friend, I'm like, oh my God, like, mashallah.
But
to
with
you.
her, I
She's-
had that though,
she's
like
so gorgeous. Yeah,
the
mashallah.
relief and the instant kind of love and everything else. And I remember it was so nice when Mary came and met her. Shall I tell you what I had though, girls? Oh my God, I have not had a sleep as good as the nap I had after giving birth to my second child since then. I have a picture in my camera roll. honestly, I'm asleep smiling. Like there's a literal, I'll show you afterwards, there's a literal smile on my face, but I'm fast asleep. That's sleep. Not slept well since.
No one's going near you. No one's obviously no one's disturbing your sleep because you've just given birth. So and you're tired. How long was your labour for both?
I think it's quite similar for both. In fact, no, Mira was longer. So like with labour, like there's different kind of phases. It's like labour from when your contractions start, and then there's active labour, which is pushing.
Yeah.
So like for me, like labour and contractions, maybe from start to finish around like 12-ish hours.
Oof.
But pushing, I mean, with Aya it was shorter, maybe like 3-4 hours. With Mira it's a bit longer than that, I think. It's all a bit of a blur.
Was it contractions, does it start as like kind of heavy period
heavy period
to,
pains?
Worse.
Yeah, it's like period pains on steroids.
You know what's so funny? This conversation is so hilarious, because I was feeling so like, is it broody? That was called.
Broody?
Yeah, where you want a baby.
Yeah. And now I'm like,
nah, baby.
No, I'm good. I'll take
baby. I've had baby fever for like 4 months.
No, but I had baby fever and now I don't, because you've just said what you said. You know that, like,
you know
what?
Went
from period cramp to
I
like,
hear
yeah,
it.
leave it.
Pregnancy is like obviously giving birth. It sounds horrible. It sounds scary.
It's worth it. I've got my girls, and you know, it's a day, maybe a couple max if some people have really like difficult experiences. But also, like, I have this cousin, and the way that they fly out. Like she's fine. She doesn't have, the same experience that I do. So
like,
the same way you're saying,
she's stretching before. What's she actually doing? That's crazy.
It's different. The same way you're saying your sister really struggles postpartum. Like everyone's experience is going to be different, but I'm just very honest about mine.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, mashallah, you smashed it, and then you had your 2 beautiful girls.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable to obviously talk about what happened with your ex-partner, so you obviously didn't work out. How did you feel at that moment? What was going through your head when it obviously didn't work out?
I think for me, it's always when I go through these things, so similar how I was saying, like when I had this baby, it's like, how do I carry on? Being a mom and having to go through a divorce is not the same as not being a mom and going through a divorce. I didn't have time to sit and process my feelings and stay in bed and cry like I probably wanted to. And I didn't have to carry on. I've got my kids. And the thing is, Mira's old enough as well.
How old is Mira?
Mira is 8. When everything kind of was breaking down and that, she was old enough and aware to know what's happening. And to be honest, that was when people say to me, like, how do you know when it's time? How do you know it's the right thing? That was one of the reasons. My kids were getting old enough to see certain things that they shouldn't have been seeing. I was like, okay, like, gotta put your kids first sometimes. For me, it was about processing, okay, how do I carry on?
What's your plan?
What's my plan in terms of so many things, in terms of, okay, what am I going to do for the kids? How do I make sure they're okay? Work, how am I going to work again? Because again, working as a mother with a partner is very different to being a single parent. There's not enough doors open to us. There's a reason why I ended up working in school part-time, because, the hours, they work well around having school-age children. There's not enough opportunities out there for single moms. So yeah, it's been a healing journey, but it's been one where it's been slow because couldn't process my feelings the way that.
Would you say it's made you stronger in that sense?
Absolutely.
Sure? Yeah. I mean, you've dealt with a lot of battles in the past. I think this was definitely a big test from Allah.
But you never know whether until you get the battle, isn't it? Like, you probably,
exactly.
But like, honestly, I feel like you're such a testament to women who, even if like everyone's story is different, I think what makes you so relatable is that you have just simply been able to keep on going. And I know it's probably for your children, but even then, like, I can't even imagine how you've had to get up and keep going. Do you know what I mean?
My special talent. I'm just good at keeping it moving. I don't think there's anything you could throw at me.
That's a sick special talent to have. That is a sick special talent to have.
Like, I've been through so much, and at such a young age as well. Like, I'm only 27, I've done so many things. Like, I've got 2 kids. I have gone through a divorce. And, like, I don't think there's anything you can throw at me now.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like Imani said, you don't know when the tests will come. And when the tests do come, you face it. And I think what I really respect from you is that not only did you keep it stepping, but you were also very faithful with what future plans you had. So I think that's a huge reflection of you actually having faith with Allah's plan. Like, okay,
absolutely,
this has happened. Inshallah, on to the next.
What keeps me going.
I mean? And I love that.
That was my next question. Like, do you... like, what is your outlook when it comes to having an obstacle in your way? Like, do you actually think of it like, that's a challenge, I'm going to face it? Or is there like an Anila behind the cameras that had a little breakdown and she kind of like just wipes the tears and carries on? Like, what is your kind of like mindset when it comes to facing a challenge or any of these challenges that you've had?
There's different elements to it. I really, really back and believe in myself. And I don't know where that stems from. It hasn't always been there. I think the way I like to think of it is that I'm always building this foundation or this mountain, and it's like every tribulation that I've gone through, it's almost like I then look back on that and say, well, you know, like I did that's harder than this, and that keeps me going. And as I'm going through life, that stack gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and so does the self-belief in myself. And when it comes to sports and fitness, I have a ridiculous amount of self-belief in myself, to the point I overestimate my abilities sometimes.
But I think that's good, because I don't think you've ever not risen to a challenge though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
There's crazy challenges that I'm going to be doing, guys, over the next, like, if like I'm not gonna.
Can you
spill too much tea? But if you can spill tea, that would be.
Give me a little
sprinkle.
At some point, there might be an ultra on the cards for the prom.
You know what? I'm not surprised. because you did an ultra with your friends.
I didn't do the full ultra. I tagged in and out. Yeah, but
no, ultra is crazy, bro.
Ultra, how many Ks?
It's anything over a marathon.
Anything over 42K, so it can be 50 to 100K.
Yeah,
even sometimes 200K.
But
do you just say you're gonna do more?
I don't know yet. There's a distance in mind. I'm not gonna say it. My management team are crazy, but they believe in me as well.
Listen, we all believe in you, babe.
Exactly.
We're all running.
I'm actually not surprised. Like, if you were to do that with a pram, I would definitely have confidence that you'd be able to smash it.
But when you have, right, and alhamdulillah, mindset, this is something that's really, I want to say when I hit 25, there's something about your prefrontal lobe developing. I swear to God.
Asha, do you feel it yet?
Do you feel it?
She's like 3 days into the frontal lobe development.
Yeah, literally. To be honest, I've heard that a lot. I've heard
let it marinate.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to marinate a little bit.
Like, it's not that I haven't always, been on Dean and things like that. It's just, I don't know, something clicked and I really developed the mindset of like, if it works out, like if it's actually good for me, then Allah's going to open that door for me, and whatever's 100%. Meant for me is not going to miss me. And if it's not, then it's because there's something else. I made a vision board in December, and some of the opportunities and things that I wanted on my vision board have come to me, and I've said no to them because I feel like I've then developed to a point where I don't think that's good for me anymore.
Fair enough. I really respect that, because I think sometimes a person they can say yes to everything just because they want the opportunities. And I think I completely agree with you. And you know what, the whole alhamdulillah mindset is something that I try my best to say. Like I always say, just say alhamdulillah, just say alhamdulillah. But you know,
we all have our days. We all have our days.
It's so easier said than done, where I'm just kind of like, I know it's alhamdulillah, but come on, man. Like you
I hear it. It's hard.
Things. It's hard.
And it's not when you said
I'm waiting for
coming. It's delayed. Yeah. When you said, like, is there an Anila that does have a breakdown? Like, yeah, I've become very emotional since having my second child. And that's not from lack of self-belief when I do have the breakdowns. It's because, number one, girl is tired.
Yeah, you're just
I am tired.
You know, when you're like, on your story, I've had 4 hours of sleep. Low-key, I can be like, I've had 4 hours of sleep. But my 4 hours of sleep and your 4 hours of sleep are so different. Like, because you are literally in the gym, also waking up your girls, also probably taking them to school.
I'm overstimulated, babe, all the time. No. There's always so much happening. Yeah. And I run my own business as well.
Yeah, you're a coaching business as well, right?
Yeah. Any girls want an online coach?
Any girls want an online coach?
Make sure you bring a pram with you.
Yeah.
But I love that. I'm really passionate about that. I think because I've had
your girls are smashing it as well, by
barriers.
The way.
Yeah.
They are smashing it, mashallah.
Oh, you genuinely, I think you're creating such a good, strong community, which is really nice to see. It's really refreshing to see as well. And you are opening doors and motivating others. Like why do I feel like I want to do a cheeky little taekwondo now? Do you know what I mean?
I
feel
love
like you've
that
done that
for
me,
you.
which I love. So, mashallah, you are smashing it. I really want to go straight into Gladiators, because that is
changed my life.
a really, really hot topic that we need to talk about. firstly, like, how did it even start? Like, did you get offered the opportunity or did you sign up?
Because I remember seeing your story, and I think it was almost like you were just talking about like how you were in the middle of applying, right? And then they literally messaged you.
How weird is that?
So was that your sign to be like, yeah, I'm
It
on the
was
right
written
path?
for me, 100%.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine anyone better, if I'm being super
Literally.
honest with you.
Yeah,
I'd love to see you girls on there.
No, you know what's so
Never.
funny? They did actually follow me, and I said no. But that's because I just had a filler top up.
It was
guys,
meant to
and
be
was
you,
not
babe.
ready.
I was just, you're standing.
No, I was like, me and that
It's like, Imani said no. We'll send Anila in as the backup.
but listen, you know when I deeped it, I was like, me and that head guard, no. You and that head guard, lashes set, everything running. I could never outbeat anyone. The way you ran and you went through those little, the foamy boards, and then you kicked it and then you stacked it on the stairs and you still made it. Just know I watched that video quite a couple times.
Oh, I love that. That video is one of the most
man.
viral ones on Instagram, actually.
As it should be.
Yeah.
You look
I
sick.
respect the one where you're standing on the tool.
Oh my
thing and you're
god, we need to
doing
talk
that.
about the
way I
BTS about this,
screaming
right?
at the TV,
Because-
I was screaming at the TV.
Hard. It's so much harder than you think. There's a reason why
course.
I was in the gym with a barbell. Do you know how heavy that thing is?
Yeah.
How heavy is it?
It probably is about
Is it heavier than a
15,
barbell?
15 kilos or
You're
something. Like, it's so
lying.
hard. And when you get whacked with it, it's like you off balance.
Thank God you weren't wearing those glasses. Should have knocked it out.
It's
No.
but this is the thing you don't see about TV, right? So it's, to put into perspective,
Yeah.
it's a 12-hour filming day that they condense into 50 minutes. You
Crazy.
are so bloody tired. But we have to get up on the podium first before the gladiators, and it's high. There's ladders. There's a guy that holds the ladders, like they're not attached to anything. He's like, go on, you hoist yourself up. They hand you this thing, right? You're stood there, the crowd, the audience, 10,000 people.
Do you have a goal beforehand? Do you have like trial ones?
Very briefly, not on the day.
Okay.
So you go away for like, not to say too much, but you go away for like a residential training thing, and you have to, it's a lot of health and safety. Do you know what you do more than
Which is
anything?
understandable, to be
Learning
fair.
how to fall safely. We all came away with whiplash from so much falling.
Shit, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Would I even be sitting in the pod if I went?
Honestly, I don't think
I
I would
would've
make
felt
it.
You
I
get,
lied,
look, they look after you really well. We had
Yeah.
physio doctors and things like that. But yeah, we all had whiplash from the falling.
Did you get any like injuries when you were training for it, or when you went to this residential thing? So wasn't that a bit of a concern? Okay, I've got an injury. Can I actually?
This is Anila, bro. She could go with
Dude,
amputated.
wait. Let me talk about the podium. I'm going to tell you about the injuries, right? So the podium, I'm stood up there with the stick thing that I'm going to hit someone with, hopefully. So then they're like, Dynamite, the gladiator.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
comes
yeah.
out. She'll do her whole routine,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
her dance thing. Everyone's watching. I'm still stood here waiting. And then do you know what they'll say? We need to do that take again. Babe, I'm still stood up here. My legs are like, my arms are tired. You can be stood up there for like 30 minutes. By the time
No
they've
way.
got up, and then it's like, okay, ready, 3, 2, 1.
So how long were you waiting until you
Honestly,
jeweled?
jeweled, like quite a while. We're up there for ages before them, and you're so nervous as well. Like
Yeah.
you're watching all this go on. Babe's doing her spins and her backflips. I'm stood here.
You can't even like leg shake. Yeah, because it's such a small podium. It's not like you can just like sit down.
It's
and squat.
wobbly as
Yeah,
well.
Stool.
No, it's wobbly.
That's
So it's like
crazy.
So you had to basically find your own balance. That obviously, surely that's unfair because you're getting a bit tired whilst on the
No,
podium.
now you know what? I've always had respect for you. Now I know the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Flip me.
Well, hopefully you girlies might be able to come and see some of it live. So it's
No,
not been,
Anila, I was expecting the VIP. You know.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
video, I'll
like,
sort you girls out. It's not been, and I think by
I
the
want you
time
to sign
this
my
goes
t-shirt.
out,
Yeah.
I'll sign your hijab.
Yeah, that's probably more
I'll get you in a
modest,
head guard.
Get her a head guard.
Get you,
I beg.
get
Get
you
her
in a head guard.
guard.
But it's not been
Yeah.
announced on my Instagram yet, but it will be by the time this goes out. But
Yeah.
I'm going to be part of the Gladiators live tour.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh my
No,
god.
So I get to do all the madness
Nice.
again. I get
That's
to do all the madness again,
insane.
all the way around the UK.
I saw a poster of the Gladiators tour outside. I was out at the O2 literally last week. I saw Gladiators. I was like, oh, live tour, like that's sick. But I didn't know what it entailed. So I'm guessing
It's
the contestants go as
essentially,
well.
yeah. So obviously all the gladiators are going, but there's been 2 seasons now. They're not taking all the contestants, so it's a select few. So alhamdulillah, I was so lucky to
Alhamdulillah,
be.
Of
yeah.
course, bro. Listen, let me tell you something, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I was just deeping it, like, Allahumma barak, the way you've actually cultivated, you've got a whole story in itself. Like Gladiators,
I'm gonna write a
you
book
have,
one day.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to write your book soon, bro. Do you know what I mean?
I'm waiting for that autobiography.
I know. I don't know. We're gonna have to have a part 2 of this podcast another day.
Exactly.
But like, I literally think of it like, when I think about Gladiators, you are automatically the only person I think of.
Same.
And I think of that as in like, you've along the bike been able to just really cultivate your own personal brand. And you know how sick that is. Like, it's actually a privilege to even be speaking to you right now. Please remember.
Oh, stop
exactly.
it. Do you know what's so crazy though? In terms of, so I've always had the athlete background, but content's relatively new to me, right?
You're smashing it, babe.
But you two were some of the first girls that I came across, like as a new, when I was a new hijabi and things. Like, you might even be like the first kind of accounts that I followed were hijabi fitness girls.
Stop it, man. I would hug you, but there's too much
how full circle, you know, to be sat here, and you know, when we've done the events together. And
I know, you know, it's so crazy because I was literally like, you know, guys, it's been a long day today. You guys will know why when I post it. But like, bearing in mind, when I've been getting ready, I was like, oh my god, like I'm actually like on a podcast with Anila like 6 months ago. Do you remember when we saw each other at the Alpha event? We all had a little dinner, obviously with everyone else, but I was chatting to you, Mo. And it's like we were just talking and we're like, I'm just so proud of you, like genuinely to see your journey, like
smashed it.
It's something to be, you know, for someone to know someone just online, right? But for you to even have shared, like, and us to have had, like, moments beforehand, it's a privilege, bro. Yeah. Honestly, it's such a privilege.
Literally echoing that, I think you have genuinely inspired so many girls. And I think I remember from the very, very start when you DM'd me and we had, like, a conversation, the growth from there to now, it's the most inspirational.
We're your biggest cheerleaders,
honestly,
bro.
Honestly.
Girls, we're a team. Like, I feel there's a lot between us, a lot of similarities. And the same way saying I've cultivated a community. Like I said, you guys were literally, like, you know, what I was, and still am, like, there's stuff that you guys do. Best believe I save your content. I'm like, like that one. Let me put a spin on it. Let me remix it a bit.
Really, truly, everyone does that on social media. So I respect
But you're inspiring, you know, like you inspire me. Sometimes I guess, I hope maybe I inspire you and we bounce off each other. And that's how we keep going.
100%. I think, you know what, one thing for sure that I'm definitely walking out of this podcast and I'm gonna feel is, you know what, there is really nothing that I cannot do because she's a mum, she's a gladiator,
she's a mommy,
she's a mamacita.
I'm a mommy.
You're a mommy.
You smashed it. Like you have honestly bounced this motivational energy to us, and I feel really inspired. So, mashallah, you've genuinely smashed it. Going back to obviously Gladiators, the filming was quite tiring, but you managed to pull through. What was your experience with the contestants? Are you close with any of them now?
We have a group chat. Nice. We're besties.
We're like round 2.
Like, we've had like reunions since then. Nice. And like it's an experience that you guys bond through. That's very unique. Yeah. Even injuries, my God, there's so much that you don't see on camera. What happened? Because
I remember, I don't know if you announced this on Instagram or you said it to me, you did get injured at one point during the filming.
Very injured. But
so what happened?
I don't want to take away from that the fact that a lot of us got very hurt. But the thing is, they don't show it all because at the end of the day, and I spoke to production about this because I was a little bit upset at how certain things looked on TV. I felt like sometimes I don't want to say certain narratives are pushed, but you might see one person's injury and not see the others. And then to me, being such a competitive person, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I look absolutely awful, but also you've not showed that I've just been quite literally carried out of a ball by paramedics. You've chosen not to show that on TV.
Which is annoying because there's context to it.
Yeah, there's context to it. But they just said at the end of the day, it's a family show, and that's the most important thing. And if we showed all the injuries, well and truly, there would not be a show anymore. But for both my semi-finals and my finals, I was so severely injured that it wasn't decided until the morning of whether I was going to be allowed to compete or not.
Yeah, because of the injury.
What was going through your head that day?
I was like, girl, I'm competing. They asked me if I'm in pain. I ain't in any pain. The amount of painkillers I took. For BBC, they probably won't be watching this. But anyway, before I went on for my semi-finals, and I think my finals as well, all blurs together, they took me into like a physio room where there's like treadmills, all this equipment. They're like, can you show us you doing X, Y, Z and tell us how much pain you're in? So painkillers, I was like, I can't feel anything. I feel great. There was
fake it till you make it.
way. My ankle was, what had I done? I'd sprained my ankle really, really severely. It was really strapped up. It was literally like, it was this big. I was told I had to just lie in elevator for like 2 days before. And yeah, I was like, man, I will go up that travelator on one leg if I need to.
100%.
Like,
you were going to do it no matter what.
Do you know what I mean? The opportunity, you're telling me that I was going to miss out because I was
100%.
injured.
You know, it's always crazy because, like, I actually think if I was in that position, I feel like I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
You
Really
would.
truly,
You absolutely would.
You've been
Once in a
training
lifetime.
months and months and months, lifetime of experience. Everything you've gone through, you deserve to be on that podium.
100%.
You deserve to be travelator.
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 It's the thing that you run up at the end that everyone falls flat on their face.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But you didn't.
I never fell once.
I know.
I
That's what I'm
respect.
saying. I was
'Cause
like,
it's
and
hard
now
when
you
it
had that
looks-
with a sprained
You're
ankle.
going to see that live. You'll get to see that live at the shows. Sorry,
Nice.
say.
You had that with a sprained ankle.
Yes.
Oh,
Even
man.
the running one, I
need to
did
go back to
you know,
gym
the
right
running
now.
one that went viral. I've got a sprained ankle doing it the way that, but they were both sprained, by the way. One was just worse than the other.
You know what? Let's go to the whole how it was perceived, because not only did the injury happen, but also you managed to go to the final. Very much well deserved. You really deserved a position there. But a lot of people disagreed with your position on the final, and you received a lot of backlash. So what actually happened?
That's ridiculous.
So basically, there was me and Xavier in the semi-finals, and we both got injured. This is what upset me a little bit. She was a lot more injured. She got injured in Powerball, but I was already carrying like the sprained ankle. It was, oh God, what else did I have? I had bruised ribs. I had all sorts. Honestly, guys, none of mine was shown on TV, which is fine. Like I said, like she got really, really, really hurt in Powerball. But you know, like hats off to her. She still beat me at the end of the race, so she went through. However, her injury was so severe that she wasn't able to carry on to go to the final.
Yeah.
So then we had, essentially, it was out of me and Kiva, who was the other person in the other side of the semi-finals who also hadn't progressed. And they had a look at our qualifying times, and I was quicker.
Yeah.
So I progressed to the final.
Yeah.
And people were just so upset. You would have thought it was the Olympics.
It's crazy. Like, it ain't that deep. Do you know what I
It's
mean?
not that
deep.
deep.
Kind of
People
interesting
going
though.
crazy.
Kind of interesting, isn't it?
There was a lot of Islamophobia.
That's what I was gonna say. If you
was
weren't
like,
a hijabi, do you think you would have gotten the same backlash?
No, absolutely
Exactly.
not.
Exactly.
This one, and you know what? I hate to be wired like that because I don't want to ever like think
Assume or whatever.
that's why. But
it's true.
really low key, if you're the first ever hijabi to hit national television for literally an historical TV show, that's just crazy. I'm
But
so
the
happy
DMs I
that
had
you
and
win.
stuff, like I think that is the pinnacle of the worst that I've ever experienced online. It was so bad that BBC had to actually turn their comments off under the post for safeguarding because
Seriously?
there were thousands of comments like coming for me. And I had to have like a welfare check with him, and it really affected me. I went offline for a couple of days, spent some time with family.
Of course, it's very, very heavy because that was the first time.
Also,
Obviously,
hate
you received
comments is
before.
crazy.
You received hate comments before, but that was the first time that you had
It was on a
masses
national level,
of people.
yeah.
Masses of people
Yeah.
come at you
It's not
for
like
no
it-
reason
yeah.
because you
It's
deserve
like-
to be in the
do you know
final.
what I mean? It was like
You.
Also,
At the end of the day,
I'm
it is what
sorry,
it is.
but
and
like-
Xavier's so lovely, by the way.
Yeah.
Like she was there supporting me
watching
with
it.
friends. She
Yeah,
sat with my
yeah.
family whilst I was in the finals.
Yeah, and I
This is what I'm saying though, like everything is meant to happen in divine timing.
Yeah.
So like Xavier, she will have her moment and she will still have her victim, her glory, like, you know what I mean, like her victory, her glory, everything in her time. And maybe that was your time, and that's just how it was your time. And you done
Exactly.
it fair and square. You were the faster runner
Exactly.
after
Exactly.
you know Xavier's
Yeah.
injury, so it makes sense.
And I think
That's
the hate
mad.
comments were definitely just Islamophobic.
What I had to
people.
learn was, although it felt like a lot was coming through, when you look at the numbers of people who are watching Gladiators, which is in the millions, it was a loud few. Yeah, there were lots and lots of people who were supportive, but they
Yeah.
just choose not to, voice that. But the
Voice
ones
that.
that are negative are just very loud.
Yeah,
Um,
that's very true. Like the haters, they're gonna
They're a
scream,
loud few.
and the people that support you, they're not as like loud as the others. And I think it's because the haters just do too much. They're
agree.
just so insecure about themselves.
You have to
They're
feel
not
sorry for
gladiators.
them at the end of
I
the
They're
also
not in
day.
your
feel like I'm
position.
gonna be so honest with you. Maybe also I'm biased because I'm on social media. Who has time to go on someone's random post?
Who?
and-
Yeah,
Like,
the
literally, like,
audacity as
imagine,
well.
like,
Day from round the corner, like it's ridiculous.
People that do it off their public accounts as well. Are you not
Karens.
embarrassed?
Yeah, like you
Karens.
actually
Are
have
you not
your
embarrassed?
actual
Karens.
photo. You've got your actual government name. Like, really, really and truly, don't make me go on HR.
Babes, if you leave me an Islamophobic, depending what it is, if you leave me a comment like that and I can see where you work, you're getting reported. I'm so sorry.
100%. Blocked, reported. You got to do what you got to do. Hate is completely unnecessary, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that. But good things happened because you exploded and you managed to get opportunities with BBC. Absolutely. And your social media grew. So you had the beneficial things after, regardless, which is really good.
Yeah, you've got to take the good with the bad. And do you know what? The messages that were positive that I had from women, not just young girls, but like women who are older than me that said, had I seen this representation of gladiators in the original in the 80s, my whole life with fitness, health, everything would have been different. Exactly. Being stopped, it happens a lot in London by young children on the streets of London who are like, ask me about gladiators and say like, little girls saying, I want to be strong. It's like, which girls when we were younger said, I want to be strong? Exactly. Do you know what I mean?
We are literally the generation that are actually going to now be the role models for people before us, after us, with us now. Like, as in, do you know, I'm going to show my kids you, and I'm going to be like, no, that's my mate. I'm going to come around with you. I'm
going to do that all the time.
Like, it's going to be the case.
And also, let's just quickly touch on the half marathon. You did a half marathon after with your baby.
Crazy.
In a pram. What was your experience? Like, I mean, it seems
one of the best days of my life.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. But it's hard, right? You're pushing a whole pram.
It's hard, right? So my whole thing with it, I didn't do any prep for it, by the way.
Your timing was sick, by the way.
Yeah. My time. I beat my PB without the pram.
Exactly.
It's
period.
crazy.
I love that for you, mashallah.
Are you sure the wheels ain't got no turbo in it? What's going on? Are you sure?
But I'd been running with the pram anyway, but I'd never done distance. It was I was doing like 5Ks twice a week with the pram. I'd done maybe 10 with it beforehand, and then everyone in my run club was saying, just do it. And then I just thought, I had FOMO. I can't even remember why I signed up, but the opportunity came and I was like, do you know what?
It's FOMO.
Anyone can do anything. That is my belief. And I was like, this might sound delulu, but I was like, you know what? If I can just 10 with the pram, I'm sure I can do, what is it, 21?
Yeah, 21.
Yeah, I can double it. But I went there with the mindset of, I'm going to run a 6-minute kilometer pace, which is very chilled and very slow for me. I'm going to take it really easy. I ended up doing, my average was 5:15.
No, honestly, when I saw your time, I was like,
1
did
hour
she ditch
53.
the pram midway? I just need to know.
And nobody, I swear to God, nobody touched the pram the entire half marathon. So I had somebody with me filming. You know what? Hats off to him as well, because he paced me. When I said to him 6-minute kilometer pace, is like, nah.
That was not 6 minute, babe.
Because I said, let's do it slow for the first half. And then if I'm feeling good at the halfway point, I can speed it. It's like, no, we'll do it in reverse. And we smashed it, but he really kept me going. But I remember him saying to me at some point, he was like, it's like, if I take the pram, no one's going to see. I was like, no, I will know.
Yeah.
I will know. Like, this is for me. And when I crossed that line with her, it was like euphoria. It's like another thing that I had done. And even now, I'm like, I've done the half marathon, the pram. Like, I could probably do a full.
You can.
And all the women seeing that as well. Like, I could hear some of the comments, and it was like, that lady's running with her pram. And I've had DMs off the back of it saying, I've started running with my little one.
Yeah.
Or just asking me for advice. I want to get into this. I didn't think that I could run now that I've had a baby, but now I've seen you, I know that I can.
Exactly.
Oh my God,
exactly. Beating the stereotypes and obviously showing that you can break this
That's
boundary.
what's important. Now everything else is just noise. Like, it is so difficult to get to me with a negative comment, because do you think that that's going to even touch the positive impact that I'm having?
No way.
And that shows huge growth as well. Yes. So I'm really happy for you. All right, my love, I think we've run out of time, but I want to do 2 things. These are the last 2 things. One more question, and then our usual thing that we do with guests is called Sister Secret. So my last question for you is, what's the future for Aneila Active? What will you be doing?
There's a list.
There's a list. To me, woman.
Give us maybe a couple.
Okay, well, if you've been in my comments on my Instagram, you'll know that I have a hijab line coming.
Ooh! No, I'll be honest with you. The way I've been seeing that hijab stay put, I was like, Anila, if you don't,
the hijab line is coming. And you know what? It's taking longer than I wanted it to, but that's okay, because I'm not going to release anything until I'm 1,000,000% happy with it. It is going to be the best hijab for the gym. It's going to be like this. And anti-gravity. Yeah, gravity does not exist within this hijab. It's not moving.
Yeah,
and
fair.
it's gonna look good. You girls see me running, you see me gladiators, everything. The hijab's not moving. I'm gonna give that to everybody. So that's the big thing. That's the big goal. And I'm doing things every single day to get there. You girls will be getting samples.
I was about to say, guys, you heard it first in the pod.
Yeah,
first in the pod.
Exclusive.
You'll be getting, man. I'll give you my address.
You'll be getting a lovely gifted sample. But yeah, and I've got all my fitness stuff. I am doing another half marathon with the pram in October. I am.
Are you doing the big half?
The Manchester one in October. The Manchester one in October. I'm touring with Gladiators in November and December.
Oh, busy. Yeah.
I'm doing another half in Marrakesh, which will be my first international one.
January one.
Yes, you're going.
Maybe.
Oh my God, this is gonna be so exciting.
There's
so many people that are coming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my first full marathon next year too. And again, something that hasn't been announced on Instagram, but I may or may not have my first kind of professional fight debut. That's not in Taekwondo next year.
Wait.
It might be at the O2.
Hold on. We're actually with a celebrity right now. Let's just do that.
That is crazy.
You girls are getting tickets.
That's crazy.
It was supposed to actually happen in September, but I didn't.
Fairs.
Girls busy. But yeah,
babe,
you want a hybrid athlete, girls. It's not just running and lifting here. We're running, lifting, fighting.
Yeah,
I'm climbing like every week now as well for Gladiators.
Literally, you're definitely taking different type of oxygen.
I breathe different. That's actually
Sometimes I'd be too tired to breathe, honestly.
No, babe, your breathing is best. Like, I don't know. You might have 3 lungs or something.
though, because that is like a bucket list of mine as well. So that is huge motivation for me as well. So I'm really proud of you. So we'll obviously keep it exclusive for the pod and for the pod girlies, but of course we'll let you announce that.
I'm gonna keep these receipts, so just in case you forget about us.
Yeah, literally. So we're gonna move on to Sister's Secret, which is the last segment of the pod. So what we'll do is we'll cut here, and then when I do post production, I'll edit out. I'm going to give you a piece of paper from our previous guest, and basically you'll answer the question. It's a question that she's wrote down. You answer it, and then what you'll do is you'll write a question for the next guest. Yeah. So I'm going to grab it quickly because I've got it in my bag. Sorry, I should have grabbed it at the start.
And we need to take some pickies quick as well because the girls are here.
Oh, I need some content too.
Call time was
This has been so fun though. I could literally just sit here and talk for hours.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know podcasts, by the way? Having my own podcast is on my list too.
Babe.
But it's not there yet.
I'd love to be an invite.
Oh, obviously. I don't know. Maybe you can give me some ins as to how it actually works. I don't know what the startup costs are, like how these type of things work.
Yes. Conversation for another day.
But it's not something that's even in the next 12 months for me. It's something I have, so with my goals, I have the long-term ones and the short-term ones. It's a long-term goal.
Cool. So this is Sister's Secret. So Sister's Secret is our final segment where we get the guest to read a question that the previous guest wrote down. You'll answer it, and then you'll basically write your own question. So this is for you. Do we have a piece of paper and a pen that we can have? Thank you.
Oh my God, guys, my handwriting's really
bad. We actually
bad
don't know what this is.
Yeah, we've not read it ourselves.
It's a secret, so I don't know what
it's a really hard one to answer.
Yaya basically
what is it?
Wrote it, so I don't know what the secret is.
What is it? What does it say?
What's your biggest regret?
Ooh.
Oh my God. Damn, Yaya.
Yeah, you deep to that.
What's my biggest regret? There's 2 elements to this. In one side, I really believe grow through what you go through. And I worry that anything that I've done, maybe it wouldn't have led me here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wish we could unpack that. We'll do that next session.
Exactly.
Because now I'm like,
but also,
there's so much more to talk about.
I wish I believed in myself more whilst I was younger.
You wish you believed in yourself.
I wish the belief that I have in myself now, and I'd say that's come about. Do you know what? It's come about since my divorce, because I think I think when you're able to do that and carry your own, and it was really being able to achieve and do everything by myself and overcome everything. That's given me this it's my superpower, my belief in myself. And I think if I'd had that, although I was doing the sports and everything, there was always, I listened to that voice that was like, you know, I can't do it.
That's really good. I think, you know what, when it comes to belief in yourself, one thing that I'll say is that even as a 25-year-old, sometimes I struggle to believe in myself.
We all have our moments.
And I think we all have our moments and we all
Yeah.
have our times where we
For
question ourselves and doubt ourselves. So in my opinion, I think that even if it was at a later stage, there's nothing wrong with that, because there are some people like me that are still trying to figure that out. But mashallah, even though you're still trying to figure that out yourself, you're achieving so much as well, and you've got so much to offer still. So
if this is you whilst having springs of self doubt and belief, God forbid what's gonna be where you are when you have it on.
God forbid a woman is ambitious.
God forbid.
And God forbid a woman is ambitious.
We'll wrap it up.
Trying to
But
be.
Thank you so
everything.
much, man.
It's been an absolute pleasure. We do this again next week. Bring the pram next time.
Yeah.
I'll bring the kids.
Bring the
Get
kids.
Mira on the podcast.
That motive, I
100%.
love that. I want to just squeeze her cheeks.
But no, but honestly, it's been such a pleasure. And
Thank
honestly,
Thank you for having me.
we are just so proud of you. And honestly, it's a privilege to see you, but it's a blessing to see you as a friend as well.
Exactly.
So genuinely, we're wishing you all the best all the time.
Cool.
And actually, part 2.
I love you girls. Thank you for honestly like creating this space, because although we've got us girls online and stuff, this is new. We've not had this yet. The podcast, like the space where we've got the time to talk and really unpack things rather than it just being a 1 minute clip.
Well, just know that this is a safe space, so you're more than welcome to come here whenever.
Have me
wherever.
back. I've
And
lived
there'll
so many
be-
lives. There's so many things to talk about.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like we've condensed it so much, but I want to chat more with you.
Yes.
But everything else, and we'll get into that into
We
part 2
will.
for sure.
There'll be more as well. Maybe by the time I come, I would have had my fight debut. Hopefully, I won't be coming and telling you that I'm not
on the
battered.
tour bus and do it,
Innit?
mate.
Really,
I'm
jump on
ready.
tour with me.
I'll be in the caravan waiting.
I'll be at her front
Okay.
door looking on my, I want to come in. Thank you so much, girl. Right, I think that's it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Check out all of our previous videos. Check out our social medias. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.